get irrational.
Shalom. Kol holo Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name is Barad Debal, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis, and to all those listening and learning to you, I say Shalom, especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Today, just do a spiritual thoughts, unthankful. Again, this is a spiritual thought um, that I'm going into unthankful, and it brought to me or through the spirit. I came across this video. I'm going to play it through, and I have some scriptures. Hopefully, it's edifying, uplifting to the body of true believers of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and that we may learn to grow thereby. Here we go.
Upset about this, but if I hold the door for you, and a lot of times, especially if I see a young lady or an older person, man or a woman, I'll hold the door for a long time. Like I'll really wait. So I wasn't holding this door for my family and you snuck in on the back end. I'm legitimately waiting on you. And you gonna walk through this door and not say nothing? I be wanting to say you're fucking welcome. Like for real. You know what I'm saying? Or we on the plane and I might be in 2A, right? I might see that 4C look like they in a rush. But if you in 4C, you fly enough. You're not supposed to get off the plane till I'm off the plane. But you walking, I think you might, and I'll be like, oh, nah, you could go ahead. I'm actually letting you go because you ain't supposed to go, but you're not going to say thank you?
What you want your thank
You're
you?
not going to, and also too, if we are walking we walk in the same path, right? And I turn my shoulders to move and say, excuse me. You're supposed to turn your shoulders to move and say, excuse me too. You don't get to just keep walking straight and not say, excuse me. And so people, ooh, don't let me bless you and you don't say thank you. Do not let me hit you with a God, and I throw a God bless you out in the air. Like you might sneeze over here and I don't know you, I'm walking past, God bless you. So you're not gonna thank me for my blessing? Bruh, if you don't reciprocate manners, that's gonna get me hot.
You forgot
boy.
one. You forgot one.
We what?
Good morning.
What you mean good morning?
Good morning.
And nobody say good morning
They
back
don't
to
say
you?
it back.
Don't
Come
speak.
on, man. Say it back. You didn't hear me? You know I'm soft-spoken a lot. And I'd be like, damn, was I not loud enough? Give me my good morning back.
The last time I got arrested in Florida was the shoulder turn. When you in the club and it's that little lane, everybody going to the bathroom, and you give that little shoulder, and the dude didn't give his shoulder back and hit me straight in my chest, and I was in Alachua County Prison later that night.
You know why? Because he had to actually try to do that to you, Channing, because you tried to move.
I thought we was on some terms of, hey, you give, I give, we both gonna walk past each other. Now you jam your shoulder into my chest. Oh, we gotta lock up now.
Hold up.
So, as you can see, and I had a video a few days ago that I played, and it did give sound. Um, but if you can see at the bottom, this is I want my thank you. Ryan talks to Chan and Fred, of course, football players, professionally, retired at this moment. And so it just sparked some thoughts, because going into the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, we are in a time where people are unthankful. And this is the book of Second Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1 through 4. uh, Paul written to Timothy, he says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves," and that's what we see throughout social media. We see it all throughout the world. People are only thinking about themselves. But if you are in the truth and knowledge of Yahweh Shemi Shai, you will have a thought of, and we're going to say, your brothers, those that are in the truth. You're going to look out for them. Right? You're going to prefer them. You're going to do things, sacrifice. You're going to open the door. When we're congregating together, brothers are grabbing drinks and serving food and things like that. Right? These are things that are not seen, to the world. But then you also have, we are out in the world. how are we conducting ourselves? Um, we are walking billboards, I like to say, you know, of Yahweh Shai, and of course, ultimately the Most High, who has given us the spirit of knowledge, to actually apply these things in the world. And so when we're not being seen, or even amongst the brotherhood, amongst the elders, when you're at home amongst your family, or you out at work, you at the gas station, grocery store, how are we conducting ourselves? And so there's a lot of people that are conducting themselves in a way that was just explained. All right, and it says, perilous times shall come, and as a result, this is what a lot of issues. People are coming from all different walks of life. They may be on substances. Um, they're going out into the club. They may have, there's a lot of adultery, robbery, and stealing that's going on, scamming. So people have all these pent up frustrations, and they're looking for a person or a way to lash out. So we have to be careful in how we conduct ourselves when we're out in the world. It says, "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful." And that's the point we wanted to get. We're going to continue reading. He says, "Unholy, without natural affection." So that's also part of it too. Truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, right? They don't have self control. Fierce, despisers of those that are good. Traitors, heady, which goes into being proud again, high minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the most high. So this is an example that these men were going into about even going in through the airplane, through the airport, and us as men of the Lord and having this wisdom, we've recognized, the evils a long time ago. And so going to these clubs, these major events, where um, where there's a lot of alcohol and drugs and just a lot of um, people that are not controlled, but by their emotions. These places, the men of the Lord avoid. And if you're not, we should avoid. Okay, if you have not, because again, as time gets more and more, people are going to be uh, unthankful. Let's look up this word unthankful, and then we'll get a few more scriptures, and we'll end it. Well, let's just put thankful. We know it's the opposite of that. It says being glad, well pleased, okay, conscious. Excuse me if I say that wrong. Of benefit received, right? You receive a benefit, like somebody just is holding the door for you, or you bump into someone and you apologize. Taking the low, you step on someone's shoes. Excuse me, I'm sorry. My bad. These things pride will not allow people to do, and here's the reason why: because the vibration that many of our people have taken on, because this wasn't always the case. I remember myself growing up, and you would see people in the neighborhood. You would go to certain areas, and you would see people that that were so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Well, especially because for myself, was mainly around the Judites, so-called blacks. You find yourself, you would see someone even at school. You go to a predominantly white school, so-called, and you would see someone that looks like you. That's what we say. And you would speak even from a distance. You would throw your hand up, nod. And I noticed that over the years, that your own people wouldn't even look you in the face. It's only because this is the vibration that our people have taken on, being amongst the heathen. And the main heathen is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. and we know that uh, he only thinks about himself and what he could actually gain and get. And because he's so high, he doesn't, he never really had to think about the people below him. If anything, anybody closer to that would be like his women. But outside of that, it was just more for them take, take, and take. And so that's the vibration that our people have taken. You know, uh, entitlement. This entitlement that people carry um, because of this society. Let's look up entitlement. Entitlement, the state or condition of being entitled or right. See, always thinking that you're right, that you do no wrong, and that's the vibration. Of course, our people, I mean, our women, the women of the world, carry that heavily. When you have them saying things like, whether they don't need a man or they could have no accountability for their actions, they could sleep with, hundreds, 50 to 100, several men, but still think that they deserve a man to take care of them and their children, um, that is not theirs, that is not that man's, and expect for them to give 100% energy unto them, right? For a man to fully take care of them, despite their past. All right, they have these expectations that to be taken out to the high end places. That's just an example. Entitlement, okay, and entitlement is a building of pride, okay, um, and it says belief that one is deserving or entitled to certain privileges. That's the point that I'm making. So let's get these scriptures because that's what happens, and then you go into the world amongst other people who feel entitled, and what happens? There's a clash. There's a Boondocks. You come across this video, you can look it up. It's called Nigger Moments. Okay, on the Boondocks, and it shows two men walking one across the street, opposite of each other, and right before you know it, they bump right into each other, and guns are drawn, and they're calling each other all out of their names, and they're ready to fight. Which actually, the last man that spoke on there talked about how he was at a club or somewhere, and he went to move and got bumped, and it ended up with him being in jail. So these things happen in it quick and in an instant. Many people have lost their lives based off of what Boondock said, coined a nigger moment. Okay, it tells us in Deuteronomy chapter 28 how a man's eye shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom. Right? This goes for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're all still under the curse. They are slowly being lifted. However, until Yahweh Shai comes, we must be more conscious of our actions and how things are happening around us and the things that are happening around us. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 18. It says, "If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men." See, we can't speak for everyone else, but we can for ourselves. Um, those that are in this knowledge, to be, as Yahweh Shai would say, I send you out as sheep amongst wolves. Therefore, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So we have to be wise. And how do we be wise? We use what the Lord has taught us and how we should be when we walk about these battlements, right? We are vulnerable. We're sheep, vulnerable, right? So we play our parts, well, like another term, play a Clark Kent. We know that through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, we are hopeful, that we are those men, the men of the Lord, um, those of the women that are hopeful elect women, but then we also have to put on as the elect, as the scriptures say. And so we're not going to go there, but if you look up put on as the elect, it gives you those attributes, okay? that we must carry. And we're going to see that as we carry these things, more and more people in the world don't have Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. And we'll understand why the Lord has to come back and bring things back to its order. As it says in Proverbs 29, verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. That's what we're looking for, rejoicing. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's part of the mourning, because people are getting up and they having death in the family. There's disease and different ailments, and then they go out into the world, and they have no one else to really talk to. So then they use their authority in their jobs and have people that's under them, and they lash out and they put it out and they take it out on people around them. You know, even those in their household. This is the last scripture. This is Proverbs chapter 30, verse 30. It says, "Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm." Right? See, the guy bumped him, and he ended up in jail. I don't know about the other guy, but he was moving, and the guy, like, as they see it says, seemed as though he purposely bumped him. And there's things that actually happen like that, you know. And I pulled up something in the chat. Let's see if it comes up for me. I pulled up that scripture. It says the meaning. It says, "Do not accuse anyone for no reason when they have done you no harm." NIV. Okay. It says this proverb teaches against unnecessary conflict, quarrels, um, lawsuits, accusations, and hostility. So just really the main point: unnecessary conflict, right? Um, starting arguments out of pride, making false accusations. One the chud, and the copycats. The chud, the builder, and the copycats, right? Going around and purposely, calling people out of their name. Another thing, what they call rage baiting, you know, provoking someone. It talks about how strife and what strife does when you bring it forth. Okay, like the churning of the nose bring forth blood, so does strife. Let's get in real quick. Let's see if I can get this. Mm, let's see. Hold on. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 33. It says, "Surely the churning of butter, uh, the churning of milk bring forth butter." And when you're churning milk, you just like have a tool, a utensil. Like I seen it at Connor Prairie, where they would just take this utensil and they keep pushing it down in this milk, and until it became thicker and became like a butter, right? And it says, "In the ringing of the nose," that's what I meant to say. I put ring without the W. "The ringing of the nose bringeth forth blood." Okay, eventually you keep digging in your nose and scratching in your nose, it'll bleed. "So the force of wrath bringeth forth strife." So, you know, um, let's look up strife really quick and we'll get. "So the force of wrath bringeth forth strife." Bitter, sometimes violent conflict or dissension. So we have to be careful on how we move. Guy bumped into him, and then a fight broke out. There was an altercation that landed that man in jail. And some people are willing to lose their life over something small, you know, uh, such as that. All right. So this is starting arguments out of pride, making false accusations, looking for a reason to fight. People are out here looking for reasons to fight. Treating someone as an enemy when they have not wronged you. You have people that are just walking and then they come up with pranks to that provoke them, and then they play the victim when the person reacts and grabs them by the collar and pushes them against the wall or something, or slams them to the ground. Um, Becoming contentions by nature. All right. So then, of course, Romans came out, um, but Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai says, Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers. Right. So we want, if we want to be blessed, then we want to be a peacemaker. Okay. The Lord spoke it. Refrain from strife, which we spoke on, and you will diminish your sins. This is Sirach 28:8. All right, Sirach echoes the same wisdom. Many sins grow out of needless disputes. Right. So when you are, everything is a war or everything is a battle, eventually you're going to get harmed. All right, if you're fighting every single thing, like we said, we have to learn how to take the low, to be humble, you know, and know when to, fight when it's absolutely necessary. So I hope that this lesson is edifying, uplifting, exhorting to the elect body of true believers. Before I end, I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah HaKadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. And until next time, all those listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. And I like to end by saying fair use, fair use. I did not, I do not gain anything monetarily by sharing a video. Just everything was for educational gain for those who are willing to learn and grow. Again, this has been a spiritual thought, unthankful. Shalom.